Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time you are joining from. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time you're joining us from. We want to welcome you all to this wonderful Tech Mastery series. It has been an amazing journey so far. It has been an amazing journey so far. How has it been for you? How has it been for you? Good evening, good afternoon. Yes, my name is Ianolu Adeniji. So good to have everyone here once again. It has been 6 weeks of intense training. I'm applauding you guys. It has been 6 weeks of intense training. You have been doing so much well as a student in this training. It has been an amazing one. Very quickly, let me see how engaging we can all be this evening or whatever time you're joining us from. How has the training been for you for the past 6 weeks? Yes, let's go. Let's go in your comment section real quick. How has the training been for you? So far, so good. It's been eye-opening. I see you. I see you. I see it's been eye-opening. Nice one. How has the training been for you for the past 6 weeks? 6 weeks. 6 weeks has been an amazing one. James says that a great journey and it has been really awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Isa says impactful. Kendi says wonderful. Joseph says amazing. Tina says inspiring. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this. I like the energy. I like the energy. How has it been for you? How has it been for you? The training has been very engaging. I see you, Remy Adeniji. I see you, Remy Adeniji. Said it has been very engaging. It has been totally mind blowing. I see you, Joyce. I see you, Joyce. Enlightening. Priscilla said it has been enlightening. I see Odunto saying it has been amazing. I see Shegu saying it has been awesome. I see Daniel saying you have improved on your skill already. That's good. That's good. That's amazing. That's amazing. I like that. Professional. I like that, Sunday. I saw what you typed there. You said it has been a professional training. Oh, Yanu says roller coaster, but fine, interesting and amazing. It has been really mind blowing, enlightening, and impactful. Angel, I saw your comment section there. I saw your comment right there. Amazing. Oh, Jessica says intense, intense, intense. She says intense, intense, intense. I like the fact that you have to like emphatically stress that word intense. Training has been really impactful beyond expectation. Oh my God, beyond expectation. I like that. I like that. Lawa says it has been amazing. I'm on a project already. Amazing. Oh, shout out to Shegun Ayokunumi. Shegun Ayokunumi. I saw that. He said you already have a project. Wow. That is amazing. Even before the training ends, you already have a project you are working on already. That's beautiful. I like the energy. I like the energy. Shout out to Shegun out there. It's been an amazing one. It has been a time of learning indeed. A time of learning indeed. Amazing, amazing. Oh, Grace says that it has been amazing with Mrs. Peace and Mr. Emmanuel. That's your facilitator. I know that you're giving a shout out to your facilitator. So, secondly, I want us to give a shout out to our facilitator right now. Just in less than 10 seconds, give a shout out to your facilitator. Just mention your facilitator's name and the class you are on. For instance, maybe you want to give a shout out to Mr. Temidayo Ayeni, who is the data analysis facilitator for the next few weeks. So let's do that quickly. Let's do that quickly. Shout out to your facilitator, Mr. Femi, for the structure query language teaching. Awesome. That's the data analysis facilitator. Mr. Tobioba Femi, that is for digital marketing. Amazing, 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 amazing. I'm proud to be part of this training. Kudos to Incubator. Yes, kudos to Incubator for making this an amazing one. Shout out to Mr. Mushin and Mr. Temidayo. Mr. Temidayo, I just spent a class with you, maybe two, portfolio building and introduction. I already given him a shout out. Well, that's an amazing one, by the way. Shout out to Mr. Temidayo. Is he only your facilitator? Miss Nancy, shout out to Miss Nancy. That's for the project management class. Mr. Kingsley and Miss Nancy, shout out to them. Mr. Bob Isaiah, that's for video editing. Shout out, shout out. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right. So, lastly, how many of us are ready for tonight's session? How many of us are ready for tonight's session? If you are ready, just put in the comment section, I am ready. Put in the comment section, I am ready. If you are ready for tonight's session, if you are ready to be inspired by the words that will be coming out from our guest speaker this evening, if you are ready to be, to be enlightened, to be educated, to be motivated to do much more in this tech industry, just say, I'm ready. I'm liking the energy. Shouting, I am ready. I like that. Shout out to me. Well, shout out to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I like this. I am ready. I am ready. I am born to be ready. I like that. I am born to be ready. Amazing. So, quickly, everyone, just one announcement. This evening session is very essential for you to join. If you know your friends that you've met during the course of this training, reach out to them in less than 10-15 seconds and tell them we have started already. Just in case you don't know, we are going to be taking attendance for today's class. Just in case you don't know, we are going to be taking attendance for today's class. So you don't want to miss it for any reason. I saw shout out to Daddy Gio. Yes, yes, shout out to Pastor Enoch Adejari Adeboye. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity and privilege. Shout out to Daddy Gio. Awesome, awesome. So let's do that real quick. Reach out to someone, reach out to a friend, and tell them that we've started already. A big shout out to Miss Lovett, Mrs. Lovett, OG. That's amazing. A big shout out to Miss Cynthia. Yes, Miss Cynthia. A big shout out to everyone. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing training. So far, so good. It's been an amazing training. So far, so good. So, without further ado, tonight's session promises to be an amazing one for every one of us. I'm going to say that again. Tonight's session promises to be an amazing one for every one of us in that is available this evening. So you want to break into tech, you want to know how it is done, you want to know how to maximize whatever you've learned so far. This session is for you. This session is for you. So in case you know someone that has been very, very engaging and active in class and the person is not here, I want you to do the person a favor by reaching out to them immediately. Tonight promises, this evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you're joining us from, promises to be an eye-opening session for every of our students. So you don't want to miss it for any reason. You don't want to miss it for any reason. And yes, I have a good news for everyone this evening. And the good news is our facilitator is ready for us. Yeah, how many of us are excited about this? How many of us are excited about this? Our facilitator is ready for us. I like the energy in the comment section. And I don't want to just raise the bar and just interrupt with anything whatsoever this evening. I just want to read his profile and also give you guys a few minutes to just put on the energy and let us show our guest speaker this evening that the students of the Digital Scale Up Africa training organized by the Incubator Hub are ready for him. So quickly, I'm going to read his profile. Mr. Kola Oyeneyin is an amazing person, and I'm sure you are about to listen and get ready for his profile. Mr. Kola is a seasoned investor and a faith-driven entrepreneur. He is on a mission to reduce wealth inequality and unlock Africa's prosperity. With expertise in cutting across finance, technology, investment, insurance, economic policy, and leadership, Mr. Kola possesses a unique talent for building ideas from concept to formidable business structure that can create visible and lasting impacts. Just so you don't know, Mr. Kola for over 15 years as he has pioneered many firsts in Nigeria business landscape, including the co-working and insurance technology industries through Vienna Groups, a venture creation and development company which he founded and is lead and led. Most recently, he developed a new and innovative finance structure for African creative industry. And of course, it has been one of the most successful movie on Netflix. How many of you also have heard about the Black Book? That is one of the most successful African movie on Netflix as we speak. So we don't just in Incubator or bring someone who is not capable of demystifying what it takes to become successful in this tech space. Of course, we usually give you the best. And lastly, he is an amazing person. Beyond his professionalism and commitment, he is passionate about building people through platforms such as the Adulam Nation, KO Circle for Gen Zs, the Believers in Business Network, and Mr. Kola develops young people into leaders with value and substance. So we're clapping of our hands with your favorite emojis, with excitement in your heart and a readiness of mind. I want you to make welcome our facilitator for this evening, the person of Mr. Kola. Now, let me see the energies in the comment section real quick. Let me see the energies. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. How are you doing today, sir? Awesome, awesome. I like the energy. Good evening, Mr. Kola. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. We really appreciate it. I don't know if you can hear me in the studio right now. We would like to have you up immediately. Good evening, sir. Awesome. I'm liking the clapping emojis. I'm liking all of the energy. I'm liking all of the energy. I'm liking all of the energy. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening. All right. Very quickly, I'm liking the energy. Awesome, 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 awesome. Our students are ready. Our students are ready. I can't hear you yet, sir. I can't hear you just in case you're speaking. I can't hear you yet, sir. I can't hear you yet, sir. Awesome. Keep the energy. Keep the energy, guys. Keep the energy, guys. Mr. Kola is ready to speak to us. To speak to us. Keep the energy high. Keep the energy high. Good evening, Mr. Kola. Yes, 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 yes. I'm liking the energy. I'm liking the energy. So let's do this quickly. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me now, sir? All right. I'm not sure you can hear me yet. Good evening, sir. All right. Beautiful. While we are waiting for our guest speaker to come up in the studio quickly, I just want us to just one more last chance. Reach out to someone. 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 Tell the person that we've started already. We've started already. We've started already. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, I'm liking the energy. I'm liking the energy. I'm liking the energy. Mr. Kola is ready for us this evening.
All
Yes,
right.
we are Kola in the
Can you?
house this evening. Good evening, sir. Yes, we can clearly. Good
Okay, yeah,
evening.
fantastic. I was waiting for, it was saying host needed to add me, so I was just waiting for the host to let me in.
Oh,
Good.
apologies for that. Good evening, sir.
No, no problem. Good evening. Can everyone hear me? Just check again that you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we
All
can.
right, fantastic. All right, so I'm ready when you are. Can I start or?
Yes, yes, sir, you can. We are looking forward
Okay,
to an exciting moment.
fantastic. All right. So since I can't see any audience except you, I'm just going to assume that everything is fine and you guys can all hear me and see me, and then we're just gonna go straight into tonight's session. First, I want to say thank you to the Incubator Hub for this invitation and for the work that you're doing at Digital Skill Up Africa. Is something that I think is fantastic in terms of just building digital skills, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. Super excited to be here. This is right up one of my, passionate areas that I like to focus on, and I truly believe that for the next few minutes we're going to have together will be enriching for both yourselves and I. I'm here to share a few things with you. After which, of course, you can ask me questions. I'm also here to learn, to hear about your experiences and your journey so far in terms of what you've been doing within DSA specifically. And so, without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen with you, and then we can then get started. So please let me know when you are able to see my screen so that we can really just get started. Can you please confirm that you can see?
Yes, sir, we can now. Yes,
All
sir, we
right,
can
fine.
now.
Okay, so I'm here to talk for a few minutes about breaking into tech, particularly in the fourth industrial revolution that we're in. I think the first announcement to make to everyone on the call is to say that, industrial revolution is not coming. Industrial revolution is already here. I would speak generally about 7 different things today in terms of what this is about, and sort of like maybe provide some context. They always say that if you don't know where you're coming from, you might not necessarily be able to find your direction to where you're going. I think history is very important so that we can learn a few things about history before we go ahead. But before that time, maybe I'll just sort of like share with you a bit about myself and about my journey in terms of who I am and what I do and how I arrived at where I am right now. I think it's important to sort of like, give you that so that you know that I am here not to just tell you tales, by the moonlight. I'm not here to tell you stories of things I don't know about, or things that I've not done, that I've not practiced, or things that maybe I haven't seen happen in my life or in my course of work. And so everything I'm going to be sharing with you is from a place of practical experience and things that I've experienced over the last almost 2 decades. As a way of background, I have a technology background. I study computer science. I actually wish that I was studying computer science today and not 20-something years ago. When I studied computer science 20-something years ago in England, yes, I had the best opportunities that anyone could have access to in terms of having access to computers, writing codes, building software at a very young age, at an earlier, well, relatively young compared to my age now, even though I'm still very young. And so building products very early, right from university, writing codes in Java, in enterprise development software, that's J2ME. I was one of the first to really, build like mobile games on mobile phone. Then it was Nokia 5210 or some of this, snake and ladder game back then. So I sort of like seen the very early stage of development and technology from that side, from that part of the world that I had the opportunity to go to school in. And so from that period, and the reason I wish that I was studying computer science now and not 20 years ago is that everything I learned back then is absolutely obsolete today. There's almost none of it that I can use today. In fact, when we're talking about some of the things we were talking about then, they were so theoretical that we couldn't see what artificial intelligence meant. I mean, I was dealing with robots from a place of just, a few Legos or a few iron items fixed together, and you're trying to get to move from point A to point B in a computer lab, C++, C# programming language, will struggle to move an item on your screen from left to right or from 4 quadrants areas of the screen. Sorry, for those that are not coders or developers, you might not understand it. So my background is actually in development, in software development, and I did that for a few years before transitioning into consulting, in IT consulting, and then eventually into business, entrepreneurship, and things like that. So fast forward to maybe 2010, I relocated to Nigeria, and I had, exposure into sort of like what was going on in Nigeria, particularly, my first company was about creating an innovation hub that you could call a co-working space for entrepreneurs, very early stage company. So I also got to see firsthand very many of the businesses that you guys hear about today, how they started from Jumia to Konga, because some of the founders and co were sort of like within my space, my age mate, my friends who came to use my space on the island in Lagos to build up their company. And then fast forward, I started Nigeria's first digital insurance platform, InsurTech, which is still thriving today as one of the major InsurTech companies in Africa today. If I mention the name, you would know it. And then because of what I was doing in terms of providing, large spaces for businesses, I had the opportunity to back some of the most exciting companies in Nigeria, either backing them to start out in Nigeria, like, a company that you guys know, Bolt, Uber, Flutterwave. I literally saw Flutterwave grow from a team of 2-3 founders or co-founders to becoming a billion-dollar company, and now a $3 billion company. Until today, Flutterwave is still in my building in Lekki, phase 1 in Lagos. So I've sort of like seen, I've witnessed things happen within sort of like tech space in Nigeria, not just as a spectator, but actually an active player, an investor in the space, a backer of ventures. I've had the opportunity to be at the right place at the right time. And I'm hoping that some of the people I'm speaking to today, you're going to go on to build very exciting companies that I'll have an opportunity to invest in or advise you or back you. I'm looking for really exciting companies that really would keep me, engaged mentally. And so with that said, I will just share a few things with you so that you understand that I'm here not really to tell you stories. I'm here to tell you the things that I've seen and I've experienced. I've seen technology companies break into, growth in this same space in Nigeria, from very small companies to big companies. Some of you might use companies like, Bamboo to buy stocks in the US. I first invested in Bamboo about 4 years ago. It's great to see where they are today in Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. My most recent one that I was looking at backing, eventually, did otherwise, is distributing and delivering food across Nigeria today. So I see companies firsthand. And so my conversation with you today is from a player's perspective, not a spectator's perspective. And that's very important. I'm not here to get you excited about technology, about, break into tech, blah, 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 be a tech bro. No. I'm here to talk to you about what it actually takes to build, what it actually takes to survive, sort of like in this space and all. And for many of you who reach out to me, perhaps maybe before now, come and look at please look at our company. Many of the things you say might not even get to me at all by the time they get through our team. And they realize that you haven't actually built an MVP, you don't have a product, you don't have anything yet. There's no way I will invest $100,000 or $50,000 on an idea or PowerPoint, as it were. So I want you to keep your mind open as we get through today together. Let me tell you a short story now as we start. So I recently fired a group of people. For many of you that know, another side of me is that I'm a minister within my church. So pastoring within a church, and we're trying to launch something on a Sunday, and for like a whole week I was asking for some kind of graphics that would help me sort of like show the church, our audience, what we're trying to actually do. And for like a whole week I couldn't get any graphics item out. So it was a bit frustrating. Give me graphics. So by the way, on the left is my AI's attempt at recreating my image. I don't think I'm looking that good, but that's what it came up with. And so I got frustrated by this. And so I went and I'm an active user of AI tools and stuff. So I went online. So I went on my app and I literally just putting on all the prompts of what I need the graphics to be. And please, can you generate for me a graphics? By the way, I did this on a Sunday morning. Don't forget, I needed to present this during the service after my message on a Sunday, and show them that this is what we're launching, blah, blah, blah. Between leaving home and getting to church 25 minutes later, within 5 minutes, my graphics was ready. I sent it to the graphics team. They were asking, "Well, sir, how did you get the graphics? Don't worry about it. Just present it when it's time." Essentially, my AI tool took all my prompts and created the exact same graphics that I'd waited 1 week to get from our church graphics team, and they couldn't give to me. In 5 minutes, I got it. And on that, it just became clear to me. And this is me. I'm 44 years old, and I'm talking to a bunch of 22, 23, 25-year-old, volunteers within church to give me graphics, and they couldn't produce it. And I went ahead and I produced it myself. And I've replicated this in my company within pretty much all my space, so that at every point in time, anybody that frustrates my life, I simply just pack you and I go ahead and I get it done myself. Now, it might sound like a joke, but that's a picture into the future of what is about to happen. Many people are going to get fired. Many people are going to get ignored. Many people are going to become relevant. people will lose their relevance because they are no longer producing relevant things anymore. And so the conversation today is not just a conversation about how to acquire or break into tech. It's a conversation about survival. But beyond survival is a conversation about thriving in this new space that we're in. That's one story. The second story was, 2 years ago, exactly November 2023. Many of you had never heard about ChatGPT up until that time. But I was about to go and speak at an event. And honestly, I had such a long week. I had not prepared anything. And for those that know me very well, I put a lot into preparation, including what I'm here to do today when it comes to speaking at any platform, whether I'm preaching, whether I'm teaching, whether I'm on a global platform, whether I'm outside of the country, whether it's a small group. I want to leave people thinking that they actually learn something from my session. And so, but I had not had time to prepare. On my way to this, my driver was driving at the back of my car. ChatGPT was in beta mode then. It was not out like many of you now use it. So I went on the activity and I said, look, I'm speaking to this group of people today. I'm a keynote speaker. Could you give me a 20-minute speech that I can deliver? That will not only just be educating, but will be funny, will be relevant to the industry, and it will leave them with key lessons. In less than 1 minute, he gave me my speech. I formatted it. I rearranged it, some things there, gave me the final one. I delivered it. And it was at that event that I first told them to go and download ChatGPT or to go and at least go online and check it out. Many of them heard it for the first time from my mouth. What am I trying to say here is that we are living in the fourth revolution already. So therefore, the future isn't just coming. It's already here. It's unevenly distributed, but fast approaching your doorstep. This was something I said about 2 years ago, again, talking about technology. But I like the way Klaus Schwab, the founder of World Economic Forum, puts it. He said, we're at the beginning of a revolution that is fundamentally changing the way we live, work, and relate to one another. I very much believe that as well. In terms of objective, please pay attention very closely. I'm here to help you understand the historical shifts of previous industrial revolutions and how to position yourself if you are not already positioned to thrive in the fourth. This is the fourth one, and most likely this is the one many of you that are on this call will spend most of your life, living in before we all go, and the next generation will come for the fifth and sixth and seventh generation if the world hasn't come and gone by then. This is what you must take away, and it's very important you pay attention. So let's quickly look at history. I've broken my session today into about 7 parts. So the first part here is looking at the first, second, and third industrial revolution. You need to understand what happened then, but so that you can learn from the things that happened then and apply them as you're learning about the fourth industrial revolution and how you really thrive and break into technology space. First industrial revolution is 1960 to 1840. It seems like a long time ago, and it is. It was powered by steam engines, mechanized textile, and iron production. So steam engine that many of you might not know, but please go online and just, watch a video on steam engine, mechanized textile, and iron production. The skills needed then were largely manual labor, mechanical engineering, blacksmithing. Many of you might know blacksmith. For those that are old enough to know that our parents went to blacksmith to make their gold. You'll see fire in one corner. They will be hammering things. There was rudimentary factory management. There was, then you have like regions that they really thrive in, Europe and the UK. You can see that first industrial revolution really took place in Europe. Africa was not a part of it at all. Even the US was not a part of it. The reason why the UK, the British Empire, was able to colonize it, like literally 80% of the world, was because they were the first to go through a major revolution. Don't forget that. The reason why Nigeria, Ghana, a bunch of African countries were colonized by them was because they were able to make things like gunpowder. They were able to make, ships that travel from one location to another, and they colonized all of us. They colonized most of Europe, like all of us. That's how powerful revolution is. That's how powerful technology or development is. So the region was really purely UK. And also example is, James Watt steam engine revolutionized transportation and manufacturing in UK and Europe. Now, the second industrial revolution was quite powerful. From 1870 to 1940. Many of us learned some of this in history. electricity. You might have heard about Thomas Edison that invented electricity, funded by JP Morgan. I always like to joke that the reason why some of us who are now, so I'm maybe one of those people who have a cause of like blend between technology and finance. I started my life out as a tech person. I became a tech founder. I started funding tech businesses, and now I play wholly in finance space as an investment and global fund manager. Now, I fund companies today because I understand the marriage between technology and finance. There will never have been electricity even in the second industrial revolution without a gentleman called JP Morgan. JP Morgan, that many of you know as JP Morgan, the bank today, it was a bank, the House of Morgan, was the one that financed Thomas Edison's, idea of electricity that eventually would light up the home of JP Morgan, who was a finance person, became the first place in the world that had electricity in New York before it then expanded to the role of, the US and then, of course, the rest of the world. And then, of course, you have steel. Steel was very important in the second industrial revolution to make buildings and things like that. Railroad, steel was used to make railroad. And, of course, telegraph, sending messages from one place to another. There were certain skills that were needed. At that time, assembly line coordination was needed. Electrical engineering was needed. Mechanical and business management was also needed at that time. People needed to understand how to assemble things, how to manage things. The region where this took place, I will say straight away, it started from the US. So the US came into second industrial and it led the industrial revolution. And then, of course, Germany was there. The UK has always sort of like being there or thereabout. The classic example is Henry Ford's assembly line made cars accessible and reshaped global economy. So car and automobile was at the heart of second industrial revolution, the same way steam engine was at the heart of first industrial revolution. Now, the third industrial revolution was from the 1960s to early 2000s. Many of us grew up in this space. I was born in 1980. I studied computer science in early 2000, thereabout. So I am I'm a child of third industrial revolution, and I am an adopter of the fourth industrial revolution. Many of you that are listening to me are most likely, we were born into the later part of the third revolution, and you are the users of the fourth revolution. My two girls are natives of the fourth industrial revolution. They will never be able to understand. My daughter tells me every now and again, she's 6 years old, going to be 7. She will tell me classically once she has something that she needs to clarify, or maybe she needs answers to, is that she's asking me, okay, let's check it in the Bible, or let's ask ChatGPT. Now, I'm praying and hoping that we're not going to raise a generation that will ask ChatGPT first before they ask God. But right now, that's like our language. Okay, daddy, just ask ChatGPT. Now, that child is not going to grow up and have Google as a search engine. When I was growing up, Google as a search engine was always open on my, I mean, for many of you, you will see it classically. But even me now, over the last 1 year, permanently on my laptop, on my work tool, on my phone, you will see ChatGPT, you will see Gemini, literally open, not close. I use a MacBook, so I don't need to shut my laptop, constantly open. I can't remember the last time I've gone on Google to actually search for information. I go through AI engine and they pull it together for me. So that tells you where the world is going. But this was how we were raised. So electronics, information technology, telecommunications, software engineering, that was my background. I love development. We build products, we build software for companies. We loved it. We saw software in action. Of course, this made billionaires. You have digital literacy, network system, basic computing. Sorry, just let me check. Can you still hear me? Because I can't hear or see, just so I'm sure that you can hear me. Okay, can you hear me?
Sorry. Yes, we can. Yes, we can, sir. Clearly, sir.
Okay, fantastic. All right, fantastic. So, so you then have regions like, US, Japan, Western Europe. You can see now the UK now has disappeared. UK was in first and second revolution, and this will tell you something about why the UK and the British sort of like empire started to like lose relevance. And the same thing that can happen to a country can happen to a human being. So the UK was present in the first and second industrial revolution. The US wasn't there. The US all of a sudden came in second revolution and now in third revolution. Then you have new countries like Japan, Western Europe, and then of course the rise of IBM, Microsoft, Apple, and the internet. Now I love this word Alvin Toffler said. He said the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Let me say this for where we are now. The illiterate of today will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot query their AI tool effectively. So let me now go to the fourth industrial revolution. This is the part 2 of my conversation. What is it really? Every time I hear about the fourth industrial revolution, people just say, oh, AI. No. The fourth industrial revolution is not artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is just one out of the many things that are happening in the fourth industrial revolution. This is what I'm here to talk about today. So it's very important that you understand it. What is it? AI and machine learning is just one out of many things. Yes, should you know artificial intelligence? Absolutely. Should you know deep learning? Should you know machine learning? Absolutely. But it's not all there is. Quantum computing is big and major. We are actually at maybe 0.1 of quantum computing in the next 5-10 years. Write it down. Many of you will be hearing things about quantum computing. I did my first investment in a quantum computing company a year ago, not in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, for instance, because I know that in the next 5, 7, 10 years, that company's name will be like the NVIDIA that you are hearing today about artificial intelligence, right? So Internet of Things, that's the connectivity of things around your house, with your life, with your wearables, with your mobile phone, with your iPad, being able to control your for those that live in tech-enabled homes, control your door from abroad, your lighting, all of those different things. And of course, there's blockchain. Many of you know about cryptocurrency, digital assets and things like that. And of course, robotics and automation. There's augmented and virtual reality. There are now places in the world where you can literally experience certain things in live VR, and it will look as real as anything. Of course, there's synthetic biology and all. So it's important that you understand that, yes, why AI is a major part of it. AI is not the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is a revolution that is completely built on data. All of the things that you're seeing here is human data, people data, gadget data. When you put all of this together, it then tells you what it's about. What makes the difference? Number one is convergence. Tech is no longer siloed. Tech is not just there's technology in the office, there's technology at home. No, everything is sort of like interconnected. Everything is sort of like linked together. Then there's velocity. These are three things that I want you to remember. Changes are now exponential. They're no longer linear. I spoke to you that just less than 2 years ago, I was one of the very first set of people to use ChatGPT to prepare a speech. Today, many of you are now using it for all sorts. By the way, it's also very dangerous because in my office, people write things, people produce documents for me, and I know that they didn't even spend time reading through it. In fact, somebody produced a document, and at the bottom of it, they forgot to remove the last line that typically says, would you like me to refine this a little and add some more things for your boss to really like it? They left it there. They just copied it straight as they produced it, put it in Word. In fact, the thing generated it for them in PDF, and they just sent it to me directly. So that already tells you that people are not thinking. People are really not using the way it's supposed to, and it's going to get people in trouble. You do interviews, for some of you that do PhDs, you go and use AI to do PhD thesis, they're going to catch you out, because as you have ChatGPT and Gemini and Copilot producing documents and helping you do things, there are also platforms that will test whether this piece of work was generated by artificial intelligence, and you just need to upload your work, and in 2 seconds it will say yes or no, and you tell you which one particularly, when it was done, what's the IP address. You'll be amazed. So you can't cheat. So it also impacts everything from how you sleep to how nations are governed. I mean, our lives are going to be our lives have changed forever. I don't think we have a clue as to what has actually happened to us, but we'll talk about some of them shortly. I like what the Economic Forum said. We are merging the physical, digital, biological worlds at an unprecedented scale. I mean, right now, things about our bodies, in terms of the cells in our body, the blood in our body, like everything about my human body, my personal data can be digitized. And of course, my physical self is there. I'm not here to debate the danger and things like that. You can ask if there are questions, but of course, there are dangers around all of these different things, as there was in the first industrial revolution and second. I remember when they said the first car just came out, people ran away when they first saw the first car driving on the road. People were running that this thing is going to kill somebody. But now you go to California today, you can literally order Waymo. Waymo can come and pick you up, and you actually see a car arriving and there's no driver. There's no driver inside. You enter, you sit at the back because you pre-ordered it like Uber and Bolt and Co. And you put your destination there. There's no human being to talk to. You enter, you shut the door locks, and then this car takes you to your destination, and it drives on express, it stops at traffic lights. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Anyway, so the past and the present / future. First to third industrial revolution, these are places where you can just screenshot some of this so that you can remember. It was mechanical skills. What do we have today? I mean, I was hearing things around like data science earlier on, like your data science coach and things like that, or teachers or trainers, listen to them. Data science and analytics, that's what we have today, no longer mechanical. Then back in the day, you have electrical and manufacturing engineering. Today, you have AI and machine learning. Back then, you had administrative and clerical work. Today, you have cloud computing and DevOps. Back then, you have accounting and manual data processing. Today, you have cybersecurity and blockchain. Why is cybersecurity important? If you're collecting people's data, you better be sure that it can't be hacked and that people can, you're not going to see your life story in public tomorrow because you put it on the platform, and you can sue them. Back then, you have basic literacy. Today, you need digital storytelling and product design. Many of you are product designers on this call. I know. Back then, you had operating machines, operating systems. Today, you have human AI collaboration, prompt engineering. And that's where we are in terms of the language that we're speaking now. Now, what are the key meta skills for fourth industrial revolution? Now, typically people say, oh, just go and get AI skills. Just go and get, these are the top 10 skills. These are the top 10 that are winning now. No. Let's step back a bit and say, let's categorize them into 5 different buckets. Number one is you have to be able to think in systems thinking. Many people don't know how to think in system. And it's when you think in system that you really can engage industrial revolution well. What does system thinking mean? System thinking means that how do I build things that don't depend on human beings to operate? That's systems thinking. I run companies and I want to be able to get away from this company for a month and I won't be needed for anything. Won't be needed for approval, won't be needed for checks, won't be needed for... That's how you think in systems. If you cannot think in systems, you cannot operate in the industrial revolution effectively. And then adaptability and continuous learning. Things are changing very fast, very, very fast. I don't want to get to a world where, so for some of you, I might be twice your age, or for many, I might be 10 years older than you, but I might know more than you do. It shouldn't be. I should have a bunch of you in the room, and the things I'm discovering are super exciting, which is why some of the companies I want to really invest in now are not companies that do the things that I did 10, 15 years ago. There are companies that really, some of the monies I will invest, I possibly will lose them, but I will learn a lot in the process because of the way some of these guys are thinking about the things that they want to do. Some products that I see today are super exciting. So continuous learning, emotional intelligence and collaboration. This is very important in this sort of like the skill that you need in this space, how to collaborate. I know that a lot of Gen Zs on this call, and many times we like to do things in silos. Trust me, it's not going to help you in this period. The rule of the game in this period is how well do you collaborate with other people to create systems, to build things, right? Digital creativity and design thinking. Design thinking is similar to system thinking, but in that, you have to be able to put the thinking into some kind of design flow. that makes sense to not just you but other people. Then critical thinking and ethical reasoning. Critical thinking is a way to solve design thinking, system thinking, the ability to think critically about what is missing in this sort of like problem we're trying to solve and how do we solve it. Ethic reasoning is what we're trying to do. Okay, is this good for humanity? Let me give an example. If you're in Europe, if I was talking to a European who is building an AI tool that does facial recognition, and you don't do a facial recognition that recognizes my black face, is that ethical? Because you're building it, you assume that only white people are in the world. Or if you do the same thing in Africa, you assume that only black people are in the world. Or if you build an AI tool or a platform that that allows a system to bypass a set of rules and regulations, those things break ethical boundaries. Now, part 4 of my conversation, now to be able to break into global tech. Now, what I brought here is, I don't want you to think about technology from just Nigeria or Africa. I don't know which part of the world you're joining from, but I want to give you an African blueprint that can help you break into not just the African tech space or the Nigerian tech space or Lagos tech space or Nairobi tech space, but global tech space. Now, what does this mean? Number one is that understand where you're coming from. Africa's population, 1.5 billion people by 2030. Our median age is going to be about 20, which is our average age about 20. Our talent gap globally is about 84 million unfilled jobs that will be available by 2030. So 85 million. Think about that. And many of you here are within that age group that will fill these jobs or these roles. Let's not call them jobs, let's call them roles. So therefore, we have the potential to be the world's tech factory. Now, having the potential does not mean we're going to be. How do we get there? By doing the following things. Now, if you don't get anything out of all my stories and gist today, what I have on my screen now, this is the most important part of my conversation today with you. And I don't like to take too much of many of these things because I know you might have questions, so I'm going to wrap up shortly. I broke this into 4 different areas. How do I get into global tech space? Now, over the last 5 years, I possibly have written references for maybe about 10 people that went to the UK and got UK global talent. Okay, please write reference for me, this and this and that. And all of them got their visas. But what made me write references for them? It wasn't because I just liked their faces or because they were my mentees or they were my circles. Because I looked at their track record. They deliberately worked on themselves and they did certain things that made them qualify to break into some of these spaces. Some people are within Nigeria. They are not going anywhere. They didn't jackpot, they didn't go anywhere, but they are earning USD from Nigeria by doing some of the things I'm about to say now. Number one, they built global ready skills. By, for instance, being on DSA, which is your program, they use platforms like Coursera, Google Career Certificates, OpenAI Playground, and they learn on GitHub, GitLab, version control systems. They really build themselves up and they build skills that the world is looking for. They didn't want to leave their base. They still wanted to stay in Nigeria, pay 5 million rent per annum in somewhere nice, but earn $5,000 every month. I know people who earn $5,000 every month and live comfortably somewhere just paying small 5 million, which is $2,000, $3,000 a month, a year for rent. And they are living very well. Quiet. I know them, not that some of them invest in our fund. You will see shortly. And so they created a global, tech brand for themselves. Their LinkedIn became their international resume. Some of you here, if I go on your LinkedIn, what do I see? How have you presented yourself to the world? That's one thing you must correct. If you take nothing from me today, there are people are recommended for roles in our company, and they shortlisted all of them. And maybe in my spare time in the evening, I'm in my study, I just went on LinkedIn to go and see what they've been doing, what they've been writing, and there was nothing. And I just really rejected. No matter how good they are. I want to see people who are working for us to feel like my clients go on their LinkedIn and they see our staff and they feel like, wow, these are solid people. Go and work on some of the, they sound very small, but very, very important. They share code on GitHub. For those that are developers on this call, they write on Medium or Substack. I mean, at my age, I have a Medium platform. My Substack platform is going live on Tuesday next week, where most of my writings will be on. And I don't need any job from anybody. I don't need any contract from it. Like, I really don't. But I'm on those platforms, not just on LinkedIn. If you go on my LinkedIn, you will see how my LinkedIn is. I'm not as active as I was last year, this year, simply because of work. But you'll see my writings, you'll see my thinking, you'll see some of the things that I put there. In Nigeria and in Africa, I'm rated as one of the top 20 most followed people on, top 50 most followed people on LinkedIn in 2024. A piece I'll write on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is one of the most difficult platforms to get engagement. You will see 3,000 likes and shares. And this is me, that I don't really need LinkedIn for anything. I'm not looking for a job. I'm not looking for, but I also find that because I've created such a following. If I put something out on LinkedIn, but I mean, I was trying to look for our interns last year. I mean, another one is starting in a couple of weeks. And I just needed to put it out. And in the space of 48 hours, we had to shut down the application form because 4,000 people had applied. And it was just me putting it out. So what am I trying to say? Is to tell you that if I'm not even me, that I don't need a global tech career, I don't need I'm writing. You should be writing. You should be putting things out. You should shape yourself into the kind of people that people want to connect with. Then they join global dev communities, Stack Overflow, Indie Hackers. You guys know many of them. They join them. For my industry, there are things that I join: Global Venture Funding Group, Private Equity Group, Alternative Investment Group, Fund Managers in Africa, Global Fund Managers Network, Super Returns in Europe, all sorts of groups. We belong to them. That's my space. I'm not in major tech groups. What am I looking for? I'm not a tech developer. I'm not a tech founder anymore. I'm an investor now. But tech companies come to me, yes, but I don't need to be in their group. Then they develop a global portfolio, open source contributions. For those that are developers, they contribute to open source. For those that have freelance portfolio, you're a graphics person, they have a profile on Upwork, on TopTal, on Gitcoin. They build and launch personal projects on SAS, apps that they play with. Then they work remotely and earn globally. Remote jobs, Turing, you guys know Andela, Deal, Remote OK, Hanker, Rank. Then outsourcing and consulting firms are hiring Africa devs at a massive, massive scale. I know someone in this Lagos whose job is to place developers in companies abroad from Amazon. That's his job. And he gets his commission. And he's living his own job. It's not a developer. His own job is place developers in major jobs outside of Nigeria or even within Nigeria. He helps Flutterwave, Paystack, and all this fine, like, great developers. And he just earns his own money, and that's his own job. Everybody goes through him to get into some of these companies. So this is the most important thing that I want to say to you in terms of just how you present yourself. Because we always think that to break into tech is I need to blow. We don't blow, we grow. Very important to understand that you don't just blow, you grow. And I like the fact that you're not just going to break into tech. You grow into tech. You build yourself into tech. And don't be a local tech person. Be a global tech person. Have a global mindset. Build for global audience. Let people see your content and feel like, I like the way this person is sounding. Don't sound local. You can start local. Don't sound local. Don't stay local. Very important. I always say that if you solve a local problem, you are a local champion. If you solve a town problem, a village problem, you're a village champion. If you solve a town problem, you're a town champion. If you solve a state problem or a local government problem, you're a local government champion. State problem, state champion. National problem, national champion. Continental problem, continental champion. Global problem, global champion. Choose what you want. And if you're solving, like Elon Musk, solving a mass problem, you become a mass champion. Now find a local balance. Find a balance between local and global. Very important. Like I was saying earlier on, there are solutions that are built for Africa and they've scaled to the world, right? They've scaled around the world. Flutterwave now is partnering with Bank of America, or I'm not sure which bank in the US, for capital inflow. The Space Stack was bought by Stripe. It was built for Nigeria. Stripe came to buy them $250 million. Health Tracker was built in Nigeria, now spreading across different parts of Africa and now Middle East. Now, of course, I have to put my own company here. Opportunik, this is Africa's first alternative investment company. Started it. This was after I built all my so like tech companies and then invested in tech. And this is how you know people who have done tech, because there's no business that we do that we don't infuse technology. We built Opportunik and go on iOS and Play Store, download the app, play with it, and you see just how the infusion of technology helps us to get investors. And because we're building for a global audience on that platform, you can now profile yourself as somebody who wants to invest. What's my risk appetite? What kind of investment do I like? What kind of stocks do I want to buy? Which companies do I want to invest in? Now, if I invest $10,000, $5,000 over a 5-year period, how much is Opportunity going to generate it to? So, and we leverage artificial intelligence to do that. I have literally within Opportunity an AI mandate, an AI roadmap. It's a 3-year roadmap that by the time we're done with it, there is no company that is in fund management in Africa, and I mean no company, that will be able to match us, right? So I mean, how many companies are built, fund management companies or investment companies have a mobile app that manages their every investor can track their investment on our platform. Like, you wake up tomorrow, you want to see how far it's done in the last 3 months, you just go there and log in. You need your statement, you download it, almost like what you have from the banks in terms of, but I'm just giving that as an example. But beyond that is that it started first as a fund for Africans, but now there are people in the diaspora from Barbados to Antigua who are finding out about Opportunity because they don't have the opportunity there to have investment managers within their space. They are not like the US. There are people now outside of Africa who are also now finding it and say, well, we're in Dubai, but we like the company, we want to invest through it. So start local, Africa or Nigeria or Kenya, depending on where you're coming from, and think of scaling global. So at that point, we had to get a global license that allows us to serve, investors across different parts of the world. So I can sit in Nigeria today or sit in any and run a global company. Our staff is Nigeria, Kenya, Mauritius, Cayman Island, Botswana, South Africa. And I'm sitting in Nigeria and there's a team in Nigeria, or I travel to different parts where they're in, but the company is global. That gives you an example of how to think about what you're building. Now, part 5 of this is playing in the industrial revolution as I begin to bring this home. The ecosystem you want to enter. These ecosystems are very important. You have to belong to any of this or all of this, depending on your interest. AI and prompt engineering, ChatGPT, BART, Claude, Open LLMS, which do you like that space? Robotics and drone technology, Web3, blockchain and health, digital health, telemedicine, as an example, health tech, personalized learning via artificial intelligence, climate tech, smart integration, AI-powered sustainability. Is that you just have to choose where you want to play and you're in that space. Now, part 6, industries that will be transformed by the industrial revolution. Agriculture, you will have smart farming, drones, precision engineering, irrigation, finance, blockchain, AI fraud detection, DeFi, like I just showed you now. Our platform now, literally, when you get on the app and you download it and you're going through your KYC process, it does facial recognition, you upload your passport data, and in 2-3 seconds, it verifies your identity. That's AI driven, right? Completely. Education, AI tutors, VR classrooms, adaptive learning. Now you can everything I'm saying here today, I can tell my team to go on YouTube, take the audio from this my session with you, and in the next 3 days, infuse my image into it, turn it into an actual training for you on fourth industrial revolution that does not include me sitting here today, and they will create it for you. That's AI tutors, VR, AI tutors example. And then there's healthcare. I've mentioned this earlier on. Energy, there are now smart grids, renewable, carbon tracking. Manufacturing is there. Retail is there. There's now augmented shopping. You can now go into places where you actually experience what a piece of cloth will look like on you. You take it, you click on it on the screen, and the thing will take a picture of you and put the outfit on you. You will see what you look like wearing the outfit before you buy it. As I begin to then wrap this up, the next 2 decades, this is something I want you to take home. 5 big predictions that I am making. Number 1, AI will become your co-worker. It's already my co-worker today. I have an assistant, executive assistant, and one or two supports within my office that work with my office directly to do different things that I need to do. But AI is one of those. I mean, I have my AI, I have a name for my AI support. His name is Charlie. Charlie understands all my projects. If you come on my ChatGPT platform, you'll see I use the paid version. You'll see the list of all my projects. All my projects. As soon as I go into a particular project, we do ourselves a reminder of where we are on it, and I need an update, provides an update. Sometimes it goes for a day or 2 days to come back with a result. That's how much AI has become for us. Quantum computing will disrupt cryptography, finance, and pharmaceutical space. I'm very excited about the future of quantum computing. Learn more about it. You have climate tech, and all. And then you have things around like digital identity, sovereignty will redefine privacy and access. And the final prediction for me is a new economic class will rise, remote African middle class. There will be a community soon of remote workers in Africa. In fact, I'm thinking of creating a community like that where remote workers in Africa, where they connect. Like, we know ourselves, we live in Lagos, we live in Nairobi, but we don't work in Lagos, we don't work in Nairobi, we work in all these different places. And I know many people like that. It's just that I'm not a part of them, so it'll be difficult for me to create that community. So what's my message to you today? Don't wait for permission, guys. You don't need to be in Silicon Valley to be in the revolution. You just need to plug in, skill up, and ship something. Begin to create something and ship. The best way to predict the future, ladies and gentlemen, according to Peter Drucker, is to create it. Thank you very much. If you have questions, this is a good time to ask. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure talking to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that wonderful session. It was an eye-opening one. And just like I said earlier before we started, that tonight's session is going to be a very informative one. And this has been a high level of information. I mean, one of the major parts of this teaching is we don't blow, we grow. And that needs to sink into all of our students' ears this evening. You don't blow, but we grow. Thank you so much. So we have just 2 questions so that we can be able to manage the time properly. And I'd like to ask, the first one is, what does someone who has built a LinkedIn presence do to utilize for his own career? Someone who has built, LinkedIn presence, sir, how does the person utilize their career in becoming much more better in that aspect, understanding the fact that you came from the point of there's a need for you to also position yourself globally. So someone who has that understanding, how do you utilize it for career?
So the first thing is to zero in on what career exactly do you want to focus on. So for instance, I built a LinkedIn. Let me use an example. I built a LinkedIn career, LinkedIn profile, and it's strong, and I want to focus on climate tech. Is that everything I am talking about on that page? It can't be just any random thing anymore. Is that I am known for climate tech. I'm in every climate tech group, and by the time people come from there, they come into my page, they see everything about climate technology, right? And from there, I'm connecting with other climate technology people. I'm hosting a live LinkedIn session on climate technology, so that it becomes like you're synonymous with climate technology on LinkedIn. That's what you do. It becomes like your default, if that's what you want to be known for. That's how you convert it into. And of course, if you're looking for opportunities in climate tech, put out a simple LinkedIn session. Oh, by the way, I'm open to opportunities in this different part of the world on climate technology, opportunity to speak, opportunity to attend conference, opportunity to meet people, and just watch things happen from there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that answer. And I must say that this is one of the major things that every young person needs to come into. You don't just post any link, just like how you said. You need to be, practical about what you do and intentional about it. Thank you, sir. So, secondly, how do we take advantage of AI and stabilize this career path? Because when you mentioned earlier, sir, that AI is not all about AI in quotes. AI is just one of it. But for those of us who are already maximizing the opportunities of using AI, how do we stabilize this career path for ourselves personally?
So when you say stabilize, can you be a bit more specific? What do you mean stabilize a career?
Oh, all right. So how do we, taking advantage of AI, how do we maintain it? How do we become, much more focused on that aspect in understanding the fact, yes, much more focused majorly.
Okay, so guys, let me tell you, every and this there's no data to back this up, but at least I know enough to know that in the last 2 years, almost every single month, new things have come out as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. Things are changing so rapidly that for many of us, even that are fast to keep up with things, we're struggling. So number one is that you want to just even step back and say, right, what is my approach? What exactly do I want to get from this space? So for instance, I'm just a user of artificial intelligence. I don't intend to build an AI career, but I don't ever want to wake up in 5 years and feel like whether in ministry, in my business, in my finance, in any way I can apply artificial intelligence. I'm currently working with a small team to work on, because one of the major predictions in the world is that we're entering a world of neo individual spirituality. I'm sorry for those who might not share my faith. I'm a believer. My faith in Christ is at the center, as you saw in the reading, my profile, whether on LinkedIn or off LinkedIn. I am a believer. My faith governs my business decisions, governs my career, my investment decisions. There are things I don't invest in. One of the biggest businesses I will have invested in Nigeria was about lottery and gambling. About 7-8 years ago, when he wanted to get the license, I walked away from it because it does not align with who I am as a believer. So I cannot share with you today without talking to you about my faith. So I'm a faith-driven entrepreneur. And because I know one of the 10 major predictions for the next 10 years is that there will be more neo-individual spirituality, meaning that people are going to be looking for God by themselves. They are not going to be, they just want to learn and find God themselves. So therefore, can artificial intelligence help me find where these people are and somehow help me profile them and help me reach them in a way that the faith that I have found, I can also share with them. So I have a small group of people who are looking at AI for believers. Like, how do we use artificial intelligence, right? So how do I just give you an example of how we're using it. We have an artificial intelligence roadmap for our company that says for the next 5 years, this is how we manage funds. This is how we make investment decisions. This is how we support our investors with data-driven artificial intelligence platform or system that we built. Now, you need to step back and say, how do I want to consume AI? I don't want AI to consume me. Because if you are not careful, you are going to be a product, not a product user. So I want to be a product user, not a product. Many people are products of XAI. Many people are products of Groks. Many people are products of ChatGPT. They are using you, Gemini. I want to use it. So how do you want to use it? You have to make up your mind. Say, this is what I want to use. And now once you make that decision, you are then looking for platforms globally or locally that would ensure that you get to that place where it becomes you zero in on that particular area. So for instance, any opportunity to learn about leveraging AI in finance, leveraging AI in fund manager, in investment management, you will find me there immediately. Why? Because that's my vertical. Any opportunity to learn about AI in faith, or how AI impacts our faith or spirituality or Christianity, you will find me there, because those are the areas that I've chosen to focus on. If you say, how does AI help people that can't see or can't hear, you most likely will not get my attention. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not in telemedicine. So decide what you want. That's how to do it. That I hope that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Very well. Thank you so much, sir. I really want to appreciate you for sharing those insightful words with us. Personally, I was also able to learn a lot of things. It was an eye-opening session. And of course, I think even for me personally, I need to take my LinkedIn optimization more serious because I need to position myself globally. Thank you so much for your time this evening, sir. We truly appreciate you. And I must say that our students are on the lookout for you already. They're on the lookout for you at every point. So you just need to be at alert at every part of your corners. You would see a lot of our students also looking out for you and learning from you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that you would welcome them warmly.
Absolutely. It will be a pleasure
Thank you.
to connect with all of you. And
Thank you so much.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me. And good work you're doing. I want to shout out to my friend and brother, Femi Oyetunde, for this great work that he's doing with DSA, and to the entire team at the Incubator
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 Hub.
Hub. Well done to all of you. Really, really well done. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir. And that's it, guys. It has been an amazing session. And we know that a lot of questions has been coming in regarding LinkedIn. How do I become much more better? How do I position myself? So the good news is we are still going to have a session on LinkedIn optimization. Yes, yes, the incubator hub is intentional about our excellence. So we are still going to have a session on LinkedIn optimization. You don't want to miss it for any reason. And just quickly before we call it a night, attendance is live already. Please take your attendance. It is essential that you take your attendance for tonight's session. And also, for those of us that have not accepted your invitation on the learning management system, please do that this week, because if you don't do it between today and maybe like 2, 3 days from now, there is a high possibility that you wouldn't catch up on a lot of things you'll be doing, because your quizzes are going to be on your LMS. Your all the access to all materials that we've used so far for this training, it will be on the LMS as well. Announcement will be on the LMS. Examination will be on the LMS, because you are definitely going to write exam during the course of this training to be able to vet your graduation in quotes with us. And most importantly as well, please follow us on all social media platforms. If you are a student of Digital Skill Up African Training and you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we are coming for you. We are coming for you. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Incubator Hub. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram as well, and make sure that you don't miss out on any of the content we'll be posting henceforth. And also, we realize that a good number of our students have not taken the quiz, the modular quiz one. A good number of our students were not able to take the modular quiz one on the LMS learning management system. Please be informed that we will open the quiz very soon. So once we open the quiz, that will be another opportunity for you to have access to the quiz and attempt your quiz. Please be on the lookout. We just want to make sure that a good number of our students accept the invitation on LMS. If you don't accept the invitation, you won't have access to the quiz as well. Thank you so much, everybody. So my last statement this night is I just want us to put on the comment section quickly and just type, think of how I think of how AI can consume AI and not how AI can consume me. I'll say that again. I think of how I can consume AI and not how AI can consume me. If that is a long text for you, maybe another person want to type, we don't blow, we grow. That was essential. That was essential. We don't blow, we grow. And just in case you still don't get that, just put it somewhere and say, I'm a global talent and my services are needed globally. I'm a global talent and my services are needed globally. So when Incubator says that become a global talent, we know what we are saying. We know what we are saying. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today's session. Please be informed that our next class is on Monday for all of the classes that we'll be having on Monday. Of course, not all of the 12 courses, but for the courses we'll be having on Monday, make sure you look out for announcements on our learning management system. I know you all are grateful for the good work the technical team is doing, your teaching assistant. Shout out to all of our teaching assistants, our technical support, and also, of course, our community managers. Thank you so much to every one of us working to make sure that this is a success. We truly appreciate you. See you all on Monday. See you all on Monday. Bye for now.